discussing whatever I feel. Um, it's been really just a deep, dark void. There have been no dreams, no anything at all. And that is a terrible place for me because those dreams are what keeps me, they kind of keep me going in this reality that I can't bear to exist in for whatever reason. Place that feels impossible to be in. And it's been an exceptionally difficult couple of weeks. But it is what it is. Always around the time of my birthday, I just turned 37, I contemplate life, contemplate choices. I think about aging. Aging is a strange thing, and it applied to that specific topic, very much applied to what I experience today. It's like kind of a cruel cosmic joke in a way, where in a sense you work even harder as you get older, but that work becomes even harder to do when everything slowly starts to break down. Now, not yet, but after 40, I hear, is when it starts. Now I understand on one degree this natural process and how everything is born, decays, and dies, and is recycled in this place. How it comes up and flourishes for a short time, and everything goes back into the earth. And that death and decay is dependent upon this cycle. One cannot be without the other. The issue is why it has to be so cruel, so bad, and just painful in so many cases. Like my friend Vince, whom I've known for a long time. His dad has had Parkinson's since 2010, and he's still alive. Not only that, he has dementia now too. And he can't do anything on his own. He has to be showered. He has to be fed. Everything we take for granted, he can't do. And there was a time where I did work as a caregiver many years ago. And I did just those things and helped people go to the bathroom and fed them. And it's a particular individual, but just remembering watching my grandparents, and my grandpa was vibrant, very vibrant and healthy up until then. That can happen. That's an anomaly, and that can happen, but I don't think it's that common. Where he was still exercising, but he ended up withering away and decaying, and everything falling apart. Now, it would be nice to age gracefully, right? For it to be like a humbling process, a process that is filled with wisdom, And sometimes that might be the case, but I think a lot of times you just end up like my friend's dad with dementia and can't do a damn thing for yourself. Now, I can't imagine anything more sad than that. I can't imagine anything worse than that. Being completely helpless. And that is a fascinating thing. Being born into this world completely helpless, and then leaving this world completely helpless. Anyway, I don't know why I felt like talking about that. I just think that there's a lot of real cruelty with aging. It's not a nice process. It's not pleasant. It's painful. And it's ugly. Sure, I guess you can see the beauty behind it somewhere. I just have yet to find it. But that's the nature of this reality. It's just you can't escape it. And I do wonder about how the rhythm of life moves in other realities and how, places that I have seen, perhaps there's a different idea or a different sort of context of what it means to be alive in those places. And it is not the same cruel process. Maybe it's something different, even though technically speaking, it feels like a natural thing. It feels like it's supposed to be that way. But what if it isn't? What if it isn't supposed to be that way? How do we know? Anyway, the dangling carrot is something like I've never seen before. The the fact that we're constantly being brought to the brink of absolute catastrophe and then suddenly and abruptly stopped from that. I can't see that as a normal process, as just normal politicking going about from day to day from people. Pakistan and India were on the brink of total war, possibly even nukes. And then a magical miracle happened. This magical miracles, they always seem to be associated with Trump. Now, I don't think he just sat there and talked to the president of India and calmed them down. I think he actually shifted us into another dimension where the war stops. And I actually think that we're constantly shifting under Trump. Constantly. And he's making big moves. And it's so hard to say. So hard to say if this is the good guy or not. I happen to think not, because of what, and what I've seen him do in my dreams, as I've shared on this channel, is that there's definitely a very ambitious element to a soul. So I felt that. I felt that whatever he is attempting to do, it has an enormous amount of ambition and energy behind it. And he's trying to create something. Now, he's definitely playing major chicken in global politics. I don't think I've ever seen this before. with any, like even in this previous term, this is like a completely different world with the tariffs and suddenly being estranged from Netanyahu, which is actually the biggest concern here of all. Because if he's genuinely trying to create peace and genuinely wants to stop all the war, I can't see that as a bad thing. I mean, there's got to be some positive behind that intention. However, the problem is that something feels off about the whole thing. And the feeling is the intention isn't as great as we think it is. But again, I feel like this reality is just a constant roller coaster of mental games. Just a whirlwind of back and back and forth with no end in sight, and it's just so utterly preposterous and draining. And it's so stupid. But yeah, Netanyahu is the biggest concern here to peace, to actual peace. Because even if Trump wants to make a real deal with Iran, Netanyahu will throw a monkey wrench right into that deal and he'll make it impossible for it to happen. And it's going to create ripple effects. And he probably has his own magic tricks up his sleeve, just like Trump. I think they're both magicians trying to use the energy of this world for their benefit and for their ambitious agendas that are not necessarily tied to physical plane stuff. They're tied to some astral magic. Whatever they're trying to do, it's a cosmic thing. Opposing magicians, meaning I think they're enemies. And not in the traditional sense of enemies. I mean, beneath the layers of the facade of their face that they portray themselves on TV, on the deeper layer, they are enemies in a cosmic sense. But, ask yourself the question, if he's trying to lower drug prices, he's trying to bring jobs back here, like all of these seemingly good things. But underneath all that, there's something lurking that I just don't know. I'm about to go in a minute anyway, but I really wish I wasn't fooled by Pedgo 2 again. Really regret making that video on April 20th bullshit. However, I also did specifically warn people, hundreds of views on that video, and people said, Rapture Day, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, stocks are going to hit record highs. And for the short time, they plunged, and now they're raptured back up to record highs. And this is always the case without exception. There's zero exception to this since Corona. This has always been the case. It does not matter what happens. It is so fake. It is so contrived that it just readjusts itself automatically. Anyway, this is a weird video for me. I'm talking about old age, and I'm talking about Trump. I just haven't been here in a while and just wanted to say something. I just wanted to let the voice out because inside there's just been this hollow silence for weeks. This painful silence inside me. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. So let me know what you think. Do you think he's the good guy? Again, I wanted to remind you before I go about Operation Warp Speed. Let's reflect back on that memory. Is he the great peacemaker? Is he the great man who will solve all the world's problems? One thing I will say before I let you go, some food for thought, that is related to Pedgo 2, which is a meaningless thing, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's still interesting. So the Jax video, remember that? It was taken down where he, the maker of Pedgo 2, walked up to a poster and filmed these three characters from Vanderpump Rules. So that video, Clark Kent. Oh, thank you very much, Jeff. I'll mention something about that in just a second. Actually, now that you brought that up, so that video was uploaded to Heliofon's channel exactly a year to the date that the Pope died. And my friend, a friend named Jeff, told me about this. So that's good that he saved that date and that he remembers this. I think that's very good. And that is interesting. Exactly a year to the date of that upload. And throughout history, the death of popes is often associated with war. And we have an American pope, which is whatever. It's sad that it's 2025 and people still worship popes. People are still extreme on one end or the other, or like extreme on religion or extreme on secularism. It's like what the hell? Like what exactly is evolving here except for technology? You see humanity evolving, guys? It feels like a dead, soulless machine to me, just sort of cycling itself, repeating patterns and images, displaying. So yeah, Clark, so I actually today, this lady I met a few months ago who was writing a book, and she's using my testimony in her book, one of 7 people, I believe, and their near-death experiences. So she actually is contacting me again today, telling me that she's going to publish the book very soon. And word for word, I told her about my experience. She transcribed it into the book. So speaking of Jeff Mara, yeah, I've actually been watching his show again. He's had some interesting guests lately. Very interesting guests. And I like Jeff Mara in the sense that he's not biased. You know, he'll take on soul trap people, or he'll take on Christians, like all of these, and he's just welcoming to all of these people with different viewpoints, which is fantastic for an interviewer. That's good. All right. I wish I had more to say. I don't think I've said anything this whole time that really means a whole lot, but it is what it is.